So hello and welcome back to the channel. Something a little bit different today because I'm just going for a short easy run. Today is day 5 of my first chemo cycle, so not breaking any records today. We're just going to test things out. I'm feeling pretty sick, as I have been most of the week, but the anti-sickness drugs are doing the trick now. And we'll go into a bit more detail about this as we get into the run. So while we're going along, first I'm not by myself, I've got my little mascot with it. so the drug that I've been taking this week is called temozolomide, which I think I mentioned in a previous video. The dose that I've been taking is 390 milligrams a day, and that's for 5 days, and then I get 3 weeks off. I go in and get some blood, do it again for another 5 days, and that's going to happen 6 times around, hopefully. So exercise wise this week it's been pretty quiet. The first day especially, they gave me a different anti-sickness drug and it did nothing for me, so I gave them a quick call and asked them for what I got last time, which is an anti-emetic called ondansetron. And since I've had that, everything's gone really well. I do get, once it wears off around about lunchtime, you get quite sickly, quite tired. I think part of that is to do with being stuck in the house. I think part of the tiredness, because I didn't get this before when I was working through my chemo, I think part of the tiredness might just be lethargy, because I'm sitting around the house waiting to do stuff. So this morning we've just had to take the bull by the horns. Feeling a bit sickly, but we've gone out for a little run. It'll just be nice and easy, relatively slow, try and keep the heart rate down. If we can get 5 miles in, I'll be happy with that. We'll drop right through the shit. So yeah, we'll see how we do. So the experience this week compared to the last time I was on these tablets, the sickness has hit me a lot harder, a lot quicker. I didn't really experience any sickness at all the first time around with this stuff, but pretty much every day for some period of time I've had to go and sit in bed, either go and sleep it off or just really be careful what I'm doing. The first day was by far the worst, and like I say, everything's improved kind of since I went back on the ondansetron. And the side effects of that haven't really affected me either so far yet, so keep our fingers crossed that that'll stay the same. Side effects of that include basically just getting backed up, like stomach problems and things like that. So on to training wise, what I've been doing to try and keep mobile, very low intensity stuff seems to be the way forward. I did try doing a workout on Zwift, which was I think it was a middle distance power builder, workout, where you had to hold sort of like, I think it was about 80% of the FTP for sort of 25-minute intervals, and I was just fatiguing really fast from it, way faster than normally, and I was relatively well rested. So I've kind of put that fatigue down to the drugs. I did a very easy ride yesterday on Zwift and it was fine. The heart rate's sitting nice and low. It's not much different than what it normally is. But you do feel it. You feel it in your muscles a lot faster. And afterwards you're a hell of a lot more tired than you normally would be. Another thing which I think's probably affected me a lot this week while on the chemo is the disruption it causes to your sleep. Basically, I take the chemo drugs first thing in the morning but you've got to take anti-sickness 2 hours before that, and you wait an hour. Oh, actually, no, sorry, it's an hour before that. So you wake up, I set an alarm for 7, I get up, I take the anti-sickness drugs. An hour later, I'll take the temozolomide, which is just 2 capsules. And then an hour after that, you can then have your breakfast. So I do that early so that I can have my breakfast at a reasonable time. It does wreck your appetite, partly because you're feeling sickly and partly because it's a side effect of the drug. So I tend to have an alarm set for when to eat, so that essentially as my appetite's getting suppressed by it. This way, big lad. So even if I've gone to sleep or my appetite's a bit suppressed, I remember, oh, it's dinner time, time to go and eat something. Meal prepping helps, because when you're feeling sickly and you can't be arsed, you've already made it. And it is important to get the calories on board. First time I was on chemotherapy, I lost a ton of weight, and that in itself made me feel awful. Not just mentally, but physically quite sick. I probably lost about 3 kilos, and you've seen how sort of slim I am in other videos. I don't have 3 kilos to lose. So yeah, making sure that you're on top of your calorie intake is a massive thing. As far as food's concerned, the only recommendations I was given are really lots of whole grains, try and get a lot of fibre in, and I think, to be honest, the bulk of that advice is to try and sort of counter the side effect of it backing you up. So obviously high fibre foods can help keep you regular in that, so all that helps. Well, exercise wise, so far this run's not feeling too bad. I'm feeling a bit more probably fatigued in my legs than I normally would at this point, but we'll see how I feel when I get back. And I'll pop the Strava breakdown up and have a little chat through how I feel. Overall, I think it should be about somewhere between 5 and 8k, but we'll check at the end. Well, right in queue, nice bit of drizzle shows up, cool us down, which is nice. Unfortunately, we're out of the wooded section now, so it's a bit boring the run home. So there's not much to see, unfortunately. But I've got Ali to keep us entertained. Although he's a bit fast for me on his bike at times, especially when I'm just trying to keep the heart rate down like today. So from my experience this week, training tips. Number 1, I've said it before on the channel, I'll say it many times again, listen to your body. If you're feeling ill, you're feeling fatigued, you're feeling sick, stay at home, don't wreck yourself. If you do have to go out and do something like this, getting out for a walk is good enough. Fresh air in itself, just going out and walking the dog, has been enough to get rid of a lot of the sickness for me. Yeah, cross over, little fella. Alright. So even just going out for a walk is probably enough to sort of try and steady the ship for you. It gets you out, keeps you active. I think being immobile makes it a lot worse. If you want to get out and do something a bit more intense, get something like this with some heart rate monitoring. Go out, keep the heart rate really low, nice and chill, forget about pace, anything like that. I tried doing some intervals on Wednesday night and I just fell apart really fast. It was just, when you've got this sort of poison pumped through your veins, it's not the time to be pushing your body to the limits, because you're just going to make yourself ill. So it's the biggest thing that I took from this week. So yeah, just stick to your base training, and then when the chemo cycle ends, you can see how you feel and start introducing a bit more intensity, which is what I'm going to do next week. So there we go, back home. Very easy 5k, 31 minutes, so no world records getting set today. Stomach doesn't feel too great, but it's not that bad either. He's a little man, he's looking after me, so he's done a good job today. But yeah, like I said in the video, just listen to your body. If you feel the need to exercise around this, it does have a lot of benefit. It does get rid of a lot of the sickness, getting out, getting some fresh air, even if it's just a walk. But yeah, if you want to do something a bit more intense, make sure the intensity is very low and it just feels super easy for you. Wait till you're off the chemo cycle and you've recovered a little bit before you start putting intensity back into your training sessions. And yeah, just listen to your body and look after yourself. And if you've got any other questions you want us to look into, either I could answer them now if I know, or I'll keep an eye out for the next chemo cycle, which will be in a month's time. And yeah, until next time, catch you soon.